Welcome to the Inspired by Adventure podcast, bringing you the adventure across the airwaves. Here's your host, Cole Watkins.
There we go. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Inspired by Adventure podcast. My name is Cole Watkins, and I'm your host. And today we have a special episode. We thought it would be really cool to talk to a teacher for Teachers Day that's coming up. And today we have Fiona Boorer, who's coming to us from New Zealand. How are you doing, Fiona?
Hi, yes, it's lovely to see you. Early morning here, but never mind.
Yeah, I think we're on a 16-hour time difference, so we had
That's right.
trouble getting that figured out when we're going to talk. But thank you for taking time to meet with us. And just tell us a little bit about yourself, like maybe some of the subjects you teach and when you started teaching, and what got you interested in that.
Yeah, I started teaching right back in 1981, which was, my God, 40 years ago now. So it's quite a long time. I must be one of the few teachers that's all I've done. I've only taught, or only, yes, right. I'm not really sure exactly why I got into it. I did a degree in marine science, biology and oceanography. And I just always loved science. So I started doing that. And I had the choice, because of the degree I did, of doing either biology or chemistry. I chose chemistry because not many people do. And I have to say it's been a very, very good choice. It's much cooler because you get to blow things up occasionally. So that really does work. I've taught for just under 30 years in the UK before my husband and I moved to New Zealand. And here I've actually had the chance to teach some marine science. So back to my original love. So that was good. So I teach here, I teach marine science and chemistry. So that's been great fun.
What grades do you teach?
In American terms, it would be about grades 7 or 8 through to 12, I think. So I teach high school and then a bit of junior high school as well, because our years go slightly differently to yours.
So would you say one thing that motivated you to become a teacher? You always enjoyed as a kid, or?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed science. I wouldn't say I was motivated to become a teacher at first, but as I grew into it, I just grew to love it. Being able to inspire children, being able to see those little light bulbs going on is absolutely great. Teaching chemistry, some of the things you can show them and do are just so good. Yeah, it really works.
Would you say that you have one profound lesson that stands out to you that you've learned from teaching?
Well, apart from the never assume, which is always a good one, I think to realize that some people take longer to do things, and you've just got to explain it in lots of different ways. And yes, eventually, most of them, the little light bulbs will come on, but also to realize that your subject isn't the most important in the world, which I think is, and that some of them are going to be much, much better at art, at English, at history, or whatever. So to let them go with their strengths and don't get on their backs about the fact that maybe yours isn't their best subject. Just to try and help them, encourage them to do the best they possibly can.
That's a great point. Would you say that educating has affected your life today in one way or the other?
Oh, definitely. Heavens. I don't think we'd have moved to New Zealand so easily if I hadn't been a teacher. It was one of those things I could easily move over here and teach. I have also started to be, I was a diving instructor when I was younger as well. That was on the side rather than as a main thing. And I found that my experiences at school helped me with being a diving instructor as well. Yeah.
That's interesting. You'd say it had some type of maybe picking stuff up with how you teach to kids maybe correlates a little ways with teaching adults and people that are scuba diving. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the thing you realize that when you start teaching adults is, firstly, they don't have to be there. So you've got to inspire them, but also because they don't have to be there, they're there because they're interested. So sometimes it can be easier teaching adults, but not always.
Okay. What does Teachers' Day mean to you?
It's nice to be appreciated is the answer to that. Even though we don't make a big deal of it, it's, you see it and you see the adverts around it and everything else like that. And I think it's just nice to know that somebody appreciates you. It'd be nice sometimes to get appreciated all the way around, but just the odd thing. And even when it's not Teachers' Day, we have a culture in the school I teach at where the students actually say thank you as they leave, and it's amazing. That little, yes, somebody actually liked it. Even though you may have been teaching something you thought was maybe a bit boring, and they go out and say, "Oh, thanks, Mrs Boorer," and you think, "Wow, that's so good."
It clicked, yeah. I've just got into coaching, and I'm kind of starting to get into that too, where you feel appreciated when.
That's right. Yeah, I think so. I mean, never in actual teaching, but in diving once. I remember I gave a lecture and I got a round of applause at the end. And I thought, my God, this has never actually happened to me. So I really, really appreciated it.
That's very cool. Okay. Well, yeah, we definitely wanted to do this video because, especially how last year went with everything, COVID and the transition that the students and teachers had to make, and still being able to educate the children was definitely a sacrifice. And we wanted to make this video to thank all you teachers and appreciation. So we appreciate you coming on. But before I let you go, I did want to ask you, I see that you have been on an Aggressor trip with us before on the Oman Aggressor. How was that?
It was lovely. It was quite different to any of the other liveaboards we'd done. Better. We really liked the atmosphere. The staff was so helpful. But what was nice for my husband and I, because we're both very experienced divers, we both started diving when we were at university, was the fact that once they'd realised that we were quite happy to be left alone, they would let us do our own thing, which was nice. If you wanted a guide, they were there, ready to take you. You could dive virtually at any time during the day. But if you didn't want a guide and you just wanted to jump in and swim around and just enjoy the thing, because sometimes you do. I'm one of those people with that. I don't use my camera much, but even when I haven't got a camera, I move at the speed at which a cameraman moves, i.e. not very much at all. And I really enjoy being able to see things and not just the twice around the Titanic for lunch, which is how I describe some dive guides. Yours weren't. But, they feel they've got to show you absolutely everything. And I don't need to do that. I'd rather see a small bit. I mean, one of the things that's so cool on the Oman trip, I'd never seen a leopard shark before. And there we were swimming along, and all of a sudden it was there in front of me. In fact, I'm ashamed to say it as a marine biologist, I didn't actually know what it was until I came up. But it was so cool. It just sat there and it watched us and we watched it, and it moved off very leisurely. It was brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely great.
That is awesome. That's awesome to hear that you had a good time, and hopefully we'll have you come back and dive with us again soon on these.
I hope so. One of the things we were looking at was maybe the one in Hawaii, the Kona one. We've dived in Hawaii before, but we actually saw the Kona Aggressor. It is, yes, that's right. And it did look good, and it went that little bit further than you can. So that might be something we'd look at next.
It's a great liveaboard, and it is known for their manta night dives. So night dives, you go down and we'll aim up.
Yeah, we've done the manta night dive, but I'd love to do it. I'd do it again. I'd do it again anytime. It's such good.
Very cool. Well, thanks, Fiona, for coming on. It was great meeting you and great getting to talk to you a little bit about teachers. And we'll hope to have you on another Aggressor trip with us here soon.
Oh, that'd be excellent. Thank you very much, Carl. All right. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into the Inspired by Adventure podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, please subscribe through iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. See you next time.